Hello and welcome to VVork. I'm Brian Watrous, and in this series of videos we're taking a look at the two clients provided by vRealize Orchestrator, the old client and the new client. Let's actually jump in and take a look in the lab environment, because in this video what I want to show you is how running workflows is a little bit different in the two clients. So as you can see here, I am in the Orchestrator client. That's the older Java-based client. If I want to run a workflow, I go to the Workflows tab, and then I can find the workflow that I want to run either by browsing this tree-like structure of folders. So we have a hierarchical folder structure here. For instance, I can go into Library, vCenter, and I'll find all sorts of workflows that I can run. Additionally, we have a search widget up here, and tools. Search are three different ways that we can find the workflow that we want to run. So for instance, if I want to take a virtual machine and I want to perhaps actually not take a virtual machine, but rather I want to create a brand new virtual machine, I can use the folder hierarchy, find the workflow that I want, and then click the run button to run the workflow. So that should be very familiar to those of you who have been using the vRO client over the years. If you're already familiar with the Java-based client, you already knew that. So let's talk instead about the HTML5 client, because things are admittedly a little different. In the HTML5 client, if you want to find a workflow to run, you're going to go to Library, Workflows, and as you can see, there's no hierarchical folder structure of workflows. Instead, each of these cards is a workflow. Now I don't see the workflow I want, and this is not a complete list. There are hundreds and hundreds of workflows. I do not want to find the workflow by slowly scrolling through this list. So I can find the workflow I'm looking for either by searching for it by name. I can type the full name or a short version of the name. I'm just going to type a short portion of the name. So here's that Create Simple Virtual Machine workflow that we just saw a few moments ago in the Java client. It's the same workflow, and if I want to, I can run the workflow. If I have edit permission on the workflow, this link would instead say open. I could open the workflow and change it. Since I don't have edit permission on the workflow, it says details. But as you can see, I can search by name, or the HTML5 client introduces a new way of searching. I can search for workflows using tags. For instance, I can search for virtual machine, let me type that again there, virtual machine management is the tag that's been applied to that workflow. So if I search for the tag virtual machine management, notice I don't have to type the whole thing. It pops up a context sensitive list. I can pick the one I want. I want virtual machine management because one of the workflows is in this list here is the one that we're looking for. So here's a bunch of clone this, clone that. Where is it? Oh, we're getting close. There we go. There's Create Simple Virtual Machine. So by searching for tags, I can use any of these tags or a combination of these tags to zero in and find the workflow that I'm looking for. And additionally, if I want to, I can use multiple tags. So for instance, maybe I'm looking for a library workflow. Helps if you type it correctly. There we go, not library, library. I can use multiple tags in my search, and additionally I can combine both tags and searching by name. And then if I want to, I can run the workflow. Now we'll see running the workflow in other context here, but what I wanted to show you here is how to take the 1,000+ workflows that you have and help you to find the workflow that you're looking for. Later on, we'll actually see running more workflows, and by the way, when you run the workflows, one other thing that's different in the HTML5 client, unlike the vRO client where you end up with the workflow token underneath the workflow that you ran, in the HTML5 client, the workflow tokens, now called workflow runs, are in the activity section. All right, so again, I've reminded you how you find and run workflows in the Java client, the older client, and showed you how to use either searching by name or tags in the new HTML5-based client. Now, I have a special request here if you've made it this far in this video, whether you're new to Orchestrator or you've been using it for years and years, I would appreciate if you would take a few moments and comment in the YouTube comments down below and let me know what you think about the two different approaches. For instance, do you prefer the older style of the Java vRO client in which you search for workflows using the folder hierarchy, or do you prefer the new HTML5 approach with tags and searching by name? When you do respond down in the YouTube comments, if you wouldn't mind, if you would also let me know whether you're new to Orchestrator or you've been using Orchestrator for a while, that would be valuable to know. And if you have been working with Orchestrator for a while, I'm particularly interested in customers who have large numbers of workflows that you've developed. So if you could let me know those three things: which approach do you prefer? Are you new to Orchestrator, or have you been using it for a while? And how many workflows would you say that you and or your colleagues have developed? If you'd let me know, I would appreciate it. Again, this is Brian Watrous. This is not the last video in this series, but I have a plane to catch, so it'll be a little bit longer for the next video. If you have any requests for videos in the series, please let me know in the YouTube comments below.